Greetings, dear ones. This is Reverend Ruth on Sorry About with Angel Healing Ministries, and it is a Saturday, and it's 10:30 p.m. And we're in my office again, as you can see. I like using the office now. I have an opportunity to use two. I have two places where I can do video, and the office is one of them because it just seems like it's a good feeling to be able to use this place every once in a while, my friends. But this is Reverend Ruth and Story Bar with Angel Healing Ministries. And our mission statement is where our mission is to guide you on your path to find God while we support you with love and light and show you how important truth and faith are on your path back to God. And show you how important truth and faith are on your path back to God. So, my friends, I hope you're having a wonderful evening. And I'm hoping you're all getting what you need and doing what you need to do to keep yourself healthy and stuff like that. One of the other ways, another thing we can, I would like to talk about a little bit is, well, there's acceptance and there's delayed gratification and there's check-in with you. And there are a couple of things I like to bring up. But one of the things I want to bring up is acceptance because acceptance is an important part of life. You see, my friends, we go through lots of things in life, and sometimes it's hard to accept. We have a hard time accepting changes sometimes, and you go forward and something changes right in front of you. You have the tendency to get a little, out of sorts with that. But mainly, our world will change. And the one thing I do know, my friends, is that the constant thing in the universe is change. And we all have to change. We all have to move with the times, you see, with computers and everything like that. And we have to learn to continue forward in life. And and acceptance is a big part of it because we go through so much in life. There's so many situations in our lives that give us a challenge, and we don't often, get past that challenge. But when we want certain things to happen, we have the tendency to get, that we have the tendency to have a setback. I mean, I think most of us go through setbacks every once in a while in our lives, and when we do that, it's not normally, it's sometimes we make mistakes or we make bad decisions about things in life. And maybe in some way it affects the way we used to do things in the past. And the main thing I can say with acceptance is to first you must forgive yourself about whatever that was that happened, and then accept the new thing, accept everything that's new in your life. And once we learn to accept things and move forward in life, my friends, the world just continues to flow with us, my friends. And when we accept ourselves, we make room for other things as well. But all of us, I mean, we all, there's always that change that's constantly in the universe. And instead of resisting the change, because when you resist that change, my friends, and not many of us are comfortable with that. Not many of you either. I mean, there might be a few of you that are not comfortable with it. There may be a few of you that aren't comfortable with it. I know in the beginning when things started to change around me in my life, I kind of found it challenging and having a hard time, accepting stuff. But it takes time. We're on a journey, you see, my friends, and along the way, what happens, we'll meet up with different challenges, different obstacles, and sometimes it's a mistake that we make, or maybe in your life you made a mistake and it's kind of still lingering onto you. But my friends, God, even though we make these mistakes, we have to remember what we learn from them. And God will throw certain obstacles will come in our way, but God is always there to help us through. And when you realize how to handle the situation, you can always ask for God's help, my friends. When we learn to accept how the world is changing and we learn how to accept certain conditions in life, things get a little bit easier to handle, to focus, to do things. And for many of you it may not be easy. I know I have a difficult time with that too as well. I mean, I can't think of how many things in the beginning as I was going along my path where I had difficulty with accepting it. But when I realized what it helped me to learn and do, it became a little easier for me step by step. And when I realized resisting doesn't do us any good, because when we resist, what happens, we can, you can get like you can have other problems too as well, because you're resisting what is. Because our the road before us is always changing, and I think we talked about this. It never stays the same. The road before us, it never stays the same. There's always a turn. There will always be a corner to turn down or a mountain to climb, because we're only human, and we all need to learn stuff. We all need to learn stuff along the way. And part of the journey that we are on, that God gave to us, my friends, is to help us learn and grow in life. And the more wisdom that you gain with what goes on, and the things that you come in contact with and stuff like that, they all help us, they all help us grow in so many ways, Our world, it will always be changing, and there'll always be something to learn from it. The more wisdom you gain, the more knowledge you gain, the stronger you become as well, my friends. The stronger we become, the more we grow and understand stuff, the more we start to accept things in the world, and the easier life begins to get for us, once, instead of resisting anything. Because when we resist, as I said earlier, it can cause a lot of issues for us in our lives. But once we accept that, or we accept all that and accept it into our lives, it helps us to move forward, because you can learn from every single mistake, any lesson you might have come in contact with, lessons that might have made you feel uncomfortable. When you take that time to reflect and look back on how your life was, and you learn from these lessons that were given to you along the way. I know I've learned from my own lessons, and sometimes we'll keep hitting the same one over and over again. It just means maybe we're just not getting it the first time, or the second time, or the third. Well, when that happens, when we're faced with a similar situation, then we need to come up with another way to work with it, to go through it. If the other ways weren't working before, then it's time to take a time to sit back and take a look and see what could have been done differently, and then once that is done, then we can move forward. But in life, I know there have been many of you, and I know I've had my share, is where we've done, maybe a few of us have done things we weren't proud of in life, but it taught us what to do, or how to handle things in the future. Now, we're not all perfect. I know I never claimed to be perfect. I mean, every single day we learn, no matter what job, what field we go into. You learn and you grow, and every single piece that you learn from, every single situation that you come in contact with, helps you to get stronger and accept. Now, I know with the world changing so much, acceptance is a great part of it. By accepting what is now, what is presently happening right here, right now, it helps us move. Because I know as I've been growing in life, my friends, I notice when I accept things as they are, uh, it seems to be a little bit easier to handle stuff. It seems to be a little bit easier to move forward. I mean, my situation now that is going on is, I really want to get that book published, and I have to accept the fact that I can't just jump in there and do it. I do have the ability to do it, but I got to come up with a plan. We all have to come up with a plan. I think we talked about this. I talked about this in another video a while ago. I don't know how far back, um, but when you have a plan to make your dream become a reality, and by sticking to that plan, it helps. They go follow it step by step. I mean, in the future, I'm sure many of us in the past have just jumped right into stuff and not looked at the full picture. And when that happens, we wind up with a situation that it really wasn't what we wanted, or we lose some finances on it. When you look at the full picture and you come up with a plan and accept that plan, and occasionally what's going to happen we're going to like wonder, oh, I wish I could do more. I wish I could have done better. Just remember to accept the choices you made. Because, and we'll talk about this in another video, because once we accept stuff and we follow the step-by-step program, there's something which we call, which I learned many years ago in Arizona, is called delayed gratification. The more we follow the plan, the delayed gratification is going to be a lot better. Once you follow a plan and you do and you follow it to the correct points in life, like point A to point B to point C, and you connect the dots, it'll be a lot easier to make that thing. In the meantime, if you're working on a way, if you're working on a certain thing, you can always think about, oh, what can I do to make a little extra money to make this happen, if it happens to be something like that. You always have to reflect on what has passed, my friends, to see how you can make things different. And before making decisions, look at the full picture. And once you have all the tools, all the steps, and you accept that, you will see how much better your life will be. I know, since I've been doing this with one of my friends, Jill, she's been showing me how to take the steps to get this book published, and I've got to follow it. And she reminds me, as much as I want this published, I want to go about this wisely and not make the same mistake where a while ago I made a big financial mistake with a car that I got. And I didn't look at the full picture. I didn't look at the fine prints. And I was strapped with a lot of a bad situation. I mean, I even had lost the car because I didn't follow a plan. All I cared about back then was I needed a car, I needed a vehicle to get somewhere. And that was that was when it was just what I needed. And we all go through that. And when we make decisions based on what we need so quickly, so suddenly, and so fast, it could work out correctly or it couldn't work out. I'm still paying for the past, for decisions that I've made over the years. And that's why I have to this whole acceptance thing is important, because of the past choices that I made in my life. And again, I didn't say I was perfect. I didn't make all these perfect choices either. I made choices that taught me a lesson. And now when I look at the choices that I made back then, and it's a recommendation if you've been through something like this, if you made choices that didn't really help you out, you need to look at the lesson that was behind that choice that you made. And then you make a different choice in the future instead of the same choice. So as you move on in life, my friends, as I continue to move forward in life, I'm still going to be paying for the choices that I made. We all do. And in time and in faith and within faith and with God's help, we will get to that point. And remember how everything is always in God's time, never the way we want it to happen. And there are many of us that want it now. And I'm no stranger to that. But we also have to accept the fact that we can't have it with a snap of a finger. We don't have magic wands where we can just wave them and everything's perfect. Then if we all had magic wands and we could just wave that magic wand and make everything happen? What is there to learn from that? Oh, just grab a magic wand and go hocus pocus or abracadabra and it's fixed. Where is the joy in the journey of learning the lesson that's there, of seeing the things that make us who we are today? As much as you may want a magic wand in hand, my friends, you should be more about thinking about things like, well, if I have that magic wand, how am I going to enjoy the journey? Because if we had the ability at our fingertips to make everything happen all at once, then where's the fun in that, my friends? So there was a reason why we don't have magic wands, my friends. And once we accept that fact, that we can't have everything we want all at once, that it takes work to get to where we want to be, the joyous and happier we will be in life. Now, I'm not saying that we're going to have moments, my friends, where we're going to go back to that, I want this, I want this. Just remember to look at the full picture. Write it down somewhere, put it on a wall, like on a piece of paper, and say, before jumping into something, look at the full picture. Because the more knowledge you have, and the quicker you accept the way things are, before you know it, my friends, what you are striving for, if you haven't got it already, will happen. It may feel like a long wait, but remember, my friends, delayed gratification and that saying, good things come to those who wait. In the meantime, my friends, learn to accept where you are today. And the more you accept that, the stronger of a life you can build for yourself and your family. We can all do that. We love you. Namaste. And if you like this video, please click the like button and subscribe. We love you. Namaste. And thank you so much. Have a beautiful day and night. And we'll talk to you real soon. And this is Reverend Ruth on Star Your Bar with Angel Healing Ministries. We love you. Namaste. Thanks.